know. They don't even know what happened. They don't even know.
But
like,
hold on. Let's stop right here, Queen. Mira, you know what the problem is? What the problem? You okay over there?
Yeah.
Good? Oh, I thought you fell or something. Okay.
No, I moved my camera.
Okay. So you know what the problem is, though. A lot of times, and I am 100% sure you'll agree with this, that a lot of us, meaning just people, whether you're Dominican, Haitians, Mexicans, unfortunately, a larger percentage of our mouthpiece are uneducated. So a lot of uneducated people, uninformed people, tend to be the loudest, tend to be up here pushing misinformation. So just because you have a bunch of uninformed Haitians going over there and creating a life space and talking, I mean, it's obvious that they don't know much, but that's what we have to talk with people who do know. You know, just because a bunch of ignorant people, just because a bunch of ignorant people are coming around to just kind of regurgitating what they heard, it doesn't mean that, oh, Haitians don't know what they're talking about. No, that's not okay to say, because I could say the same thing about Dominicans, because there's a large percentage of Mexicanos. Mira el mexicano que llegó hace ratito. I was like, dude, what the hell are you talking about? There's so many people who really are very uninformed, and they just regurgitate what they hear on YouTube or TikTok. And unfortunately, a very small percentage of well-informed people have a voice. But that's the problem.
One thing I will say about that is this. So, like, I have a Discord for Caribbean people, and I reached out. So I have two mutuals on this app who are Haitian, and they are not... they don't call themselves Black. Let's just start with that. So I'm planning to do a Discord voice call, a VC call, because I have this tendency to get reported on TikTok. So we're gonna have I'm gonna co-host it with another Haitian, and I'm gonna have a few Dominicans that I know are willing to have the conversation, because what is having the conversation look like for me? What that looks like for me is actually dealing with the hard facts. So the hard facts are, there was a invasion in the capital, Port-au-Prince, and the government was overthrown and the president was unalived, and now the capital is being run by gang members. That is a fact that nobody likes to talk about. When there is a capital that is overthrown by gangs and taken over by gangs, the rest of the country is not going to be prosperous, because we all know that the nucleus of a country is the capital, right? The leader of a country and how you're viewed in the world is based on your leadership, right? A president, there's no president. So because we have a somewhat stable country, we're not perfect, never said we were, never said we were, never said we were. Because this is another thing they love to do. When we bring up the facts, they like to say, Dominicans are racist. That's the number one thing they say. Then they go to, we help Dominicans because we freed the world. We freed everybody in the world. We are amazing, but our country is a disaster. But we freed the world. We freed the world. I don't give a shit if you freed the world, if your country's a disaster. What the fuck are you saying to me right now, right? So another thing is this. You want to bring up shit that is, you want to debunk the facts. But why? Why not deal with the facts? So that we can help you. We can literally help you. I literally said, people on TikTok can come together and help each other on both sides of the aisle. Haitian people, Dominican people. We can come up with ideas. We can come up with fundraisers. We can come up with so many different things that has nothing to do with color, because everything always comes back to color. We had 3 days of lives in your platform, right? And the Dominicans that came up here, if you notice, please tell me you've noticed, if you keep track of this, nobody spoke about color. It was always a threat to Dominicans or accusation to Dominicans about color. We're coming up here defending ourselves. saying what's happening in our country, saying that we're not racist because everybody calls us racist, whatever the fuck they want to, right? And all we're doing is saying we're not. We're the only ones not talking about color. We're talking about what's happening.
Let me ask you another question now. Going a little with the Haitians again. So I want to kind of keep it on the Haitian just one more time, but also I want to kind of connect with the Dominican, with the black Dominicans. Okay, so this is a common theme that I've been learning here on my lives. There have been a great deal of Dominicans that are black, that identify as black because they're darker skinned. These are not Americans that claim Dominican background. No, these are Dominicans that live in Dominican Republic. Okay, so the theme that's very, very persistent here with those type of Dominicans is that they considered Haitians their people. Now, here's my theory regarding this, and I want to hear what you think, if I'm right or I'm way off. Okay? These black folk in DR that are Dominican look at Haitians as their people because los dos son negros. They're both black. They both identify as the African descendants that they are. Whether some of them have... You okay over there?
I'm listening. I'm just walking to get something.
Okay. Whether they are... whether they have 2% Irish, 2% Spaniard, whatever the case. They are predominantly African, and even if they weren't, they identify as black because phenotypically they are, right? Okay. So, with that said...
Go ahead, I'm listening.
Okay, with that said, these are people who someone like you would call Vende Patria, yes?
No, I will tell you who the Vende Patrias are.
Okay, come on.
Okay, so the Vende Patrias are, I'm going to give you an example. So when you have people who are sitting here, like like two things could be right at once, right? Two things could be true at once. You can identify with being black and be sympathetic to the black experience, if you want to call it that. And then you could also not shit on Dominicans. Like you don't have to shit on our country. Like you don't have to do that. Especially if you're a Dominican, like Dominicans take that Vende Patria term very serious. Like when we see a Vende Patria, that is a Vende Patria. Like if they are shitting on our country, like I wish you could feel what I feel.
What are you doing right now?
I'm in my garage getting something.
Oh, yeah, pero
now I'm standing here talking to you because I can't focus like while talking and walking.
Go do what you're doing real quick.
No, I'm listening. I'm talking. Okay, I'm going back in. So a Vende Patria to us is a Vende Patria, right? Like we are not people who take that lightly. And we know that when we say it, it's for a reason. Like we don't throw it around lightly. And a lot of people that have been on your live have been Vende Patrias because they've been shitting on Dominicans. You don't have to shit on Dominicans to love being black. The fuck? You don't have to do that.
What are they doing that's quote unquote shitting on Dominican Republic from
They're calling us racist. They are villainizing us in front of other people, which is something that like one thing you're taught in Dominican culture is don't talk about what goes on in your home to other people outside of your home. Like that is our home. That country is our home. Whether we live in America, or United States, whether we live in Italy, whether we live in any other island, anywhere, DR is home, always. Like it's hard. It's so hard to explain. Like if you are not someone who loves your country, and I was born in the United States, and I love being an American. Like I love it, right? So being a Dominican is on another level, right? So like if you are going to shit on us, in a public platform like this because you want to be down, that to us is a vende patria. That's clear. I'm gonna be real with you. That's a vende patria.
Okay, so now let's go back to the original point that I was going to make. So, how do you feel about the black Dominicans that look at Haitians as their people? Meanwhile, they'll look at the white tea Dominicans, the white tea presenting Dominicans as the colonizer. Yeah, sure. By nationality, we're both Dominicans, but our people are obviously them black folks over there because we are actually the same kind. What do you think about that?
So a Dominican is always going to love another Dominican no matter what. However, we're going to look at you as weird. We're going to look at you as weird. We're going to look at you as indoctrinated. We're going to look at you as people who, like yesterday, like Fernand was telling that woman, like, tú te fuiste pa los Estados Unidos a lavar toile. Did you catch that?
Yeah, of course.
He told her that he came to the United States to clean toilets. And I'm going to tell you why he said that. I'm going to tell you why he said that. So oftentimes when Dominicans leave the country of Dominican Republic and they think they come to the United States and they've made it, because they think they've made it when they come here, they don't come to greener pastures.
Mm-hmm. I understand. Of course.
Right?
Of course.
So they don't do that. They think they're leaving, and they're leaving probably a way worse situation, clearly, to come to a literally equally worse situation.
Yeah.
So why does it have to change who you are? The only thing that changed was your location, right? And your wanting and your longing to assimilate into American society, right? So there's different types of Dominicans. So for me, I think I'm the type of Dominican where I'm in the middle. I was raised by an older generation who highly, highly, highly values morals, religion, right? And like nation, like customs and culture, right? Even though I'm American, I was born here, like I'm super American, but that's a totally different generation that raised me. Then we have Dominicans who were raised here, but geographically, let's say they were raised, let's say in Washington Heights, because that's the biggest example I could give you of where Dominicans settle. Then you have those Dominicans who, let's say they're my age, but they grew up in a very unstable environment. Because, we grew up in the hood too here. You know what I mean? And then they have kids here. And then they don't know how to teach their kids about Dominican culture. And then we have the Gen Zers that we're seeing now who are growing up with the indoctrination of race in America. This is where we see those that are saying that they are black, but black is African American, descendants of chattel slavery in America. Haitians are not black. You're not black. You black, like color black, if you want to say that, right? But you're not a black person in America. A black person in America is a descendant of chattel slavery. What you are doing is you are falling for the fraud that is race in America. So then don't complain about it. Don't complain. I don't want to hear it. I don't want to hear about white supremacy. I don't want to hear about, oh my God, I'm being discriminated against, because you're participating. You're participating. I don't feel bad for you. Okay. This is where I come in. I don't feel bad for you.
So let me ask your favorite topic. Let's hit your favorite debate that you've been wanting everybody to debate with you. Nobody can. All right, you ready for it? You're born for it? Okay. Race.
Got you.
Okay. So, of course, you do not subscribe to the concept of race. You don't care for it. You're not black, but it has nothing to do with rejection or hatred towards black.
Nothing.
It has to do with you ain't white either, right?
Hell no.
Okay. So, with that said, of course, I'm going to ask, why aren't you? And you're going to say because the concept of race was invented by a German anthropologist, or what you say?
Technically, he's an anthropologist, naturalist, whatever the fuck that means.
Okay, sure. Okay, great. So why should we accept the identity and or label of white tea people, right? Who didn't care about us, who actually had malicious intent behind this concept, which I agree, by the way. Right. Okay.
So,
But hold on. Let me finish. So see, I understand. I don't even want to argue it, but I want to get a little deeper. So because you don't subscribe to the concept of race, we both can agree though that we are affected by the fact of race. Even if you don't bubble in in a box that you're black, or the fact that the concept of race being a social construct is a reality, we are affected by it, right? Yes. Okay, cool.
I know.
Okay, hold on. But my focus is more on the fact that I, meaning you, do not want anything to do with this black or white or whatever, because these were labels handed to us by white tea people who didn't care for us. So with that said, what about the concept of nationality? Isn't that the same thing? Weren't they handed to us and given to us by white tea people that didn't care for us?
So when it comes to nationality, do you know how Americans are so proud to be American? Those who are proud to be American are proud to be American. Do you know why they're proud to be American?
Why?
Because America, at least to me, America is a statement, right? America is a statement of strength. Even though we're not perfect, right? We're not perfect. We have a lot of issues. But America is a country that has fought where they are, the good, the bad, and the ugly. America is freedom, whether you want to believe it or not, because freedom in America compared to freedom anywhere else looks very different. It's just like it's a concept. It's a feeling. It's goosebumps all over your body when you're seeing the flag like in lights. Like that's what it is to me, right? That is exactly how I feel about Dominican Republic. Literally the exact, even stronger, right? Why? Because first of all, I don't know if you've ever listened to the national anthem of Dominican Republic.
Sure, yeah.
You have? Okay.
Yeah.
That's the first thing. So the next thing, have you been to DR?
Maybe.
Okay, you don't have to tell me. I've been to every province in DR, right? Every province in DR is known for something. Every province in DR is special. Every province in DR has different people, infectious people. The minute you walk out of the airport in DR and you smell the air, it literally breathes life into you, right? This is why we were voted one of the most, I think it was like #1 country for mental health, right? Recently.
It's a beautiful island. Trust me,
it's
I
amazing.
know.
It's literally
it's
amazing.
Beautiful. It's beautiful. It's
So
mind blowing. No, I agree. It's
right?
gorgeous.
It's the best thing that has ever happened to me.
It's gorgeous.
Honestly.
It's gorgeous.
Right?
Mhm.
So when you feel that way about a country, there's no way in hell that anyone could tell you are something that's not that, right? So especially if you don't grow up with that, especially if this is a new thing, meant to divide people. Like, I don't know why I'm the only one who sees this. Well, a lot of Dominicans see this, but I don't know why it's a fucking...
Okay, let's pause.
Why?
Let's not go
Can
too...
you tell me why?
Let's not go too far out. So I have to go back to the question again because I feel like you didn't answer. See, I asked you that...
I was talking about DR in America.
Right.
I mean,
The concept of race was given to us by white tea people who don't care about us, but so was the concept of nationality. And of course, you explained the difference. Look, you don't understand the pride we built around Dominican title or identity or brand, whatever you want to call it. But can't we say the same about the title and or brand or identity as black? When black people say black is beautiful,
100%.
okay. So what's the
1,000%. 1,000%. But I get to tell you, no, I don't get to decide, but I get to be able to debate you on whether you're black or not. Because what I think is black is, like, Dominicans have their culture. Like, we don't need to be nothing else, right? We don't need to be nothing else, especially if you want to be the lambong. You know what a lambong is?
Yep.
A lambong.
Yeah, I know what that is.
Right? That you're trying to lick the ass of other people and of other cultures and other like, what? Dominican saying that they're something else than other than Dominican is crazy to me, right? Haitians saying that they're anything but Haitians is crazy to me. Never in my life have I heard it until 3 weeks ago, honestly, is when it came to Haitians.
Okay,
But
let's pause. So
Like-
anybody that wants to come up, send requests. I'm almost done with this quote unquote debate with her.
it's not
but
even
yeah,
a debate. It's a
send
discussion.
send a request. Send a couple of requests, y'all. I'm ready. Okay, so now, but let's aside from the pride and everything, the reality, Queen, is that the race and nationality were both given to us with the same sort of malicious intent, though.
But
right?
the difference between Dominicans and a lot of countries in the world, especially with hate, because I'm only bringing up Haiti, no hate, no shade, is because we're right next to them, right? So everyone needs to understand this. So, like, our colonizers procreated with us, whether anyone likes it or not. Whether you like it or not, I don't care if you like it. I don't care if you call me a colonizer. I don't care if you say I have colonizer blood. I do have colonizer blood. I do. Right? This is who I am. This is who my children are. These are my kids. These are my husband. This is my husband. My husband's Dominican. Like, I'm not gonna hate myself. I'm not gonna do it. I'm not gonna do it. So
But I don't think anybody's like telling you to hate yourself.
okay. Listen. So then, what is the fucking issue with Dominicans on TikTok?
Okay, I'm 100%. I'm 90% sure that you were there last night when I had a Dominican dude here that wanted to debate, and he said, "No, I'm not black," but yet he embraced the concept, or rather term, mulatto. So then we got into describing.
I embrace that.
Okay, fine.
Mm-hmm.
So we both know that the word mulatto originates from the mixture of a donkey and a horse that creates the mule.
No, that's not how I know it.
No. But that's the origin. Never mind.
But that's not how I grew up with it. So this
Never
is
mind.
what the disconnect is.
Never mind the fact that so many people that are ignorant and uninformed have romanticized certain things like mulatto or mestizo. Never mind that. The truth of the root of the fact is that mulatto is literally a horse mixing with a donkey, which creates a mula, hence mulatto. So now I explained this to this Dominican. He says, yeah, I embrace being a mulatto. And then I explained this to him. Hey, you know that it's a mula. Like it's the mixture of two animals. So how do you embrace being an animal, but yet when I say you're not black, hell no. But you are an animal. Yes.
Gotcha.
Come on.
Got you. Because no matter what you say to a Dominican, like, just like you can't make us hate our history, right? You cannot completely, just because you want us to, because you just discovered, right? You just went you dug deep into the definition of a word, right? And that's what it means to you.
No, that's what it originally
No,
means.
that's what. But at the end of the day, is what it means to you.
Queen.
Okay, but it
Espérame.
means that. Okay, it means
Queen,
that.
come on, bro.
Logically,
Queen,
it means that, right?
espérame. Let's be real honest with ourselves here.
Huh?
That's not what it means to me. Listen. That's what it originally means. But with time, we have molded it and romanticized it, whatever. But the truth is that it's not what it means to me. No, this is the root of the word.
Okay.
It's not me trying to tell you that, hey, this is the true meaning of mulatto. I mean, the
So do you
word.
know what the Black's Law Dictionary meaning of the word black is?
Excuse me?
You know what Black's Law Dictionary is?
What is it?
It's like the legal dictionary.
What? Yeah, oh yeah, of course. Yeah, of course.
You know what it is?
Yes.
What?
Evil intent, bad person, everything negative. Yeah, sure.
Right? Okay, so I don't want to be called death.
Okay, great. And that's why I'm not arguing with you about the fact that you reject, in this particular case, black, you're rejecting the concept of race. I told you, I don't want to argue that. I understand because it was given to you by white people that have no love for you. But now let's go to the word mulatto, which comes the same way. Your nationality that you claim so much, it comes the same way. So it's almost like,
yeah, it's like leave us alone if we want to like identify with something. I could identify as a piece of garbage, and it shouldn't bother you.
it's not about bothering though.
Like, are you okay? No, I don't want to even laugh about it because it's so ridiculous to me that people care so much. Like, this is what I've been hearing for the past 4 days. We don't care how you identify. However, we're going to call you anti-black. We're going to call you racist. We're going to call you ba 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 ba. How about you just leave us alone? And don't make us your content like we're like a joke. Deal?
So what do I do when Dominicans come to my panel and want to share their experiences?
So what I would suggest to you is this, Ricardo: be unbiased.
You think I'm biased?
You have your biases.
Okay, let me pause you right there. Let me talk about biases. Do you want to know why in the last 3 days people have unfollowed and disliked me?
Because of me.
Because they think I'm biased because I let you stay here longer than other people. So you know what? You know what's not okay? That you feel like I'm so biased against you, but you don't realize.
I don't say you're biased against me. I think you're biased against Dominicans.
You told me that. You're like, Ricardo, you let people go in on me. Sometimes you don't let me defend myself.
Ricardo, I've never told you that you never let defend myself. Are you okay? Never in my life.
What happened?
You have the lies. Don't do that. You can verify that if it's true.
Queen, I
you literally dropped me 3 times in the past 4 years.
I have this live. Remember that one time that a lot of women came up and they were going in on you, and afterwards I shut down the live and you went on to go do a live stream on your own.
I have not gone live.
Queen, come on.
Everything that I love, I have not gone live. I don't know what you're talking about because I was banned. I was reported on your live the first night I was on it. I already lost that account. So I couldn't even go live on that account. And this account, I changed my name on it 2 days ago. My trolls found me, and you saw what happened yesterday, right? So I have not gone live on this account. I posted 1 video. I have not gone live. I don't know what you're talking about. Other people have had lives about you with you in the background, not me.
I'm not talking about like in the last 3-4 days.
When?
Like months ago.
I've never had you in my background.
Maybe you say that?
Maybe a year ago. Maybe a year ago. A year ago.
I didn't say you had me in your background.
A year when? What are you talking about then?
I'm saying like, remember that one time, like maybe like a year ago, that you came up, we were new to each other, and there's a lot of women that were coming after you on my panel, and then like when you were ready to like respond and defend yourself, instead I ended the live, and you're like, really, Ricardo?
That got me mad.
No, sure. You were like, really, Ricardo? Like, you're not gonna let me defend myself? So you went to go do a live stream. Literally, your live stream was about complaining about me.
Oh, I probably did. Back then, I probably did.
Yeah.
Not now. I would never do that now.
Yeah. It doesn't matter. But the only reason I bring it up is because the things that you were saying about me on that live, any other person who was not emotionally mature like I am, I would have never even bothered ever talking to you again.
I know, and it's happened many times with people on TikTok.
Yeah, but you see, so hey, I don't mean to sound wimpy, but I don't appreciate you accusing me of like somehow, some way being against you, dude. If you're gonna call me biased, okay, great, but I'm biased enough to keep you around and give you a lot of my space.
Okay, I understand. And one thing I will say about you, and this is for everybody listening, especially the ones in the back. You are consistent with not accepting the disrespect. Disrespect being with your rules, right? You don't get emotional about it. It's like anybody who disrespects it is gone, right? And that I will respect, right? However, when I do say something to you is because I see what's happening, Ricardo. So this is why I say just be unbiased. If you're going to be a host that is going to be unbiased, when you see any fuck shit any messed up shit happening, whether it's on either side, ask the questions on both sides. For example, if you heard Cave DB say, I never said racism doesn't exist. She said it 5,000 times. You can say, hey, she did say racism doesn't exist. What are we doing here? Just that is like enough. You could do everything else you want because we're able to debate the topic because we are very set in our ways when it comes to this. We're very passionate about it. It's not about feelings, it's about facts, right? So I brought up facts today with Desirara and Blumenbach. Nobody wanted to hear the origins of race. They want to talk about race, but they don't give a fuck.
But you and I just talked about that. You and I just talked about that, this is literally the conversation that I'm bringing to you, and I pointed out, okay, if I could understand the fact that okay, I get why you reject the concept of race because of how it came about and by what kind of people. This is why
I'm not saying there's no colonizers. I'm not saying that.
This is why it comes off as very hypocritical for people to say, well, we ain't black because white people gave it this label. But white people gave you the label of Dominican too. So it's
there's a difference. There's a difference between culture and indoctrination. Hello. Culture is different. It's way more powerful than indoctrination.
So,
do you not see it?
Okay, fine. You know, speaking of which, thank you for even saying that. You know that I could have easily, because it's the easier route, I could easily grab the Latino terminology and say, I'm proud of my Latino culture.
Yeah.
Which a lot of people of Latin America do, yeah? Right. But because it came from white tea colonizers, I reject the terminology, I reject the concept of it all. And I say, no. No, it's fine. Yeah. But you see, I'm telling you that I feel you of why you reject.
Yeah.
You understand? But,
yeah.
But now check this out. Imagine if indigenous people were like, hey, Ricardo, how come you don't identify as indigenous? Mm-hmm. Because, bro, what the hell is that? Like, indigenous, that's an English word. Mm-hmm. Word. Get out of here. Mm-hmm. And then, but instead, I decide to say, bro, I love my Latino culture. Mm-hmm. And that same person is going to tell me, wait a minute. Well, you don't embrace indigenous because it's spelled in English language, but mm-hmm. yet you identify the Latino terminology knowing that it represents white tea identity? It's hypocritical.
But this is the difference again. So when you're saying that is different because I'm also not shitting on my African culture, right? I'm not saying that I'm not African. How about people say they're African instead of saying, imagine people saying they're African instead of saying they're black, right? If they're really black via Africa, how about they say, I'm an African, I'm a descendant from Africa. Actually, Dominicans, this is why everything centers, and it's going to always come back to us, right? Because by virtue of being Dominican, if you are an educated person, you should know that Dominicans are African, European, and indigenous, right? Just by being Dominican, you should know that we are these three things.
Not
So
all of
why
not
is it
all
that
of
I have
Dominicans.
to wait?
Not all Dominicans though. Not all Dominicans.
Okay, I need to see which Dominicans don't have either or, because I don't know where they are.
To claim that all Dominicans are of these three
Yeah,
races is a
all
fallacy.
Dominicans.
Let me tell you why.
Why?
Because there is also a good percentage of Middle Eastern descent in Dominican Republic.
And
That's
I'm
a
not
fact.
saying there isn't. I'm just saying that they're all three at the very minimum. Because I have Sri Lankan in me. I have Akhenashi Jewish.
Let's pause
I have
right here.
freaking
Let's pause.
India. I have all those things.
Right. But let's pause. Let's say a person with Middle Eastern background that's Dominican. You're saying that this person that has Middle Eastern background that's Dominican has to, because he's Dominican, also Taino and Spaniard? No, Queen.
So tell me why no.
Because not everybody is mixed equally. That's
Okay, so
impossible.
I'm not saying it's equal. I'm not saying it's equal, right? So for example, I have more Europe. I have 54% European, but my husband has a little bit more, right? European than me. He has a little bit more indigenous than me. My husband's way lighter than me. Like it all, you can literally see our history. Like if you look at a DNA report, right? You can see the transatlantic slavery in your DNA when they got there. I know my maternal haplotype. I know my paternal haplotype. I can trace my lineage back to Neanderthals, literally. What Dominicans are at the very minimum European, African, and indigenous. At the minimum. Very minimum.
There are Dominicans that are only African descent and European and no Taino. There are no. I've had I've had Dominicans from Dominican Republic come in here and
that's
share
possible. I'm not saying it's not possible.
and
It's possible.
share the genealogy test, and they said, hey, it's 70-something% West African Nigerian, and then something French or Spaniard, and that's it. There is no Native American.
So I'm not saying that's not possible, right? So what I mentioned one time on your live.
But with you admitting that that's not possible, it proves you wrong when you say by minimum we're all these three. No.
Okay, so would you say minimum European and African?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Absolutely.
Those are the two main races you guys like to talk about, black and white.
But now let's talk about the president of Dominican Republic. What is he?
I don't even know. I think he's Lebanese or something. European, African, Lebanese, something like that.
Right. So
Abinader?
this is a good example. So this man doesn't have your type of mixture. This is a Middle Eastern guy.
And he's fine with